that you might remove them far from their border.
Now the Lord is talking to the so-called Arabs, because when you go back to the go to Google or any reference book on slavery, it's a well-known fact that we came from the Africas, mainly the western part of Africa, to the Americas, because Esau went over to the other side of the world, made a deal with the Africans and the Arabs, because the Arabs partially supplied the ships and so forth, and the slaves. They showed you that in that movie Gladiator, where this guy owned Oliver Reed. I always call him Stacy Keach, but that's Oliver Reed, Proximo. And I remember him when he was a young actor, right? But he died when the movie was made, because there was a tribute to him at the end of the movie. Anyway, he was a slave master, and who was he working with? With them Arabs, man. Yep. And the one Arab guy would bring giraffes to him, or elephants, or sometimes slaves. And they showed you a dark-skinned man, a so-called Hamite, which could have been a Jake. He was in slavery, and he said, I use you people, and I put you into the arenas to profit from your death. Because they put him in the arena to fight the gladiators as slaves, and they would bet whether the slave would win or the gladiator would win. And if the slave was a good fighter, guess what? At the end of his time, the Caesar at that time would admire him and say, you know what? I'm going to give you a wooden sword, and I'm going to grant you your freedom. So if you were a great enough fighter, you receive your freedom because of the fact that you know how to fight well. So they showed you, going back to that movie, that you had Proximo arguing with that Arab guy, and then you had Hamites or Jakes in the scene of that movie, in the beginning scene of that movie. So that didn't change from the time of the Roman Empire up until the time of the so-called New World. Go ahead.
It says, behold, I will raise them out of the place whither you have sold them, and will return your...
Where was we sold to? The Americas. And not just America, but around the world. But the main place, that's why all the tribes are being brought over here within the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years. All the tribes are here. And the Most High said he's going to raise them out. Who are them? The Israelites. Go ahead.
It says, and will return your recompense upon your own head, and I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand.
So after the Most High sets us up in our kingdom, is slavery going to be done away with? Is slavery going to be abolished? They're going to go into slavery, man. Read that again.
And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off, for the Lord hath spoken it.
Now let's go back to where we left off.
Revelation chapter 6, verse 6. It says, and I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine.
Yeah, barley, it was a measure of wheat for a penny, and a measure of barley for 3 pennies, was it?
Measure of wheat for a penny, and measure of a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny.
And 3 measures of barley for a penny. In other words, that represents actual food, but it also represents the scriptures. Because you don't need a lot of money to buy a Bible to learn this truth. You don't need to go on the website to watch our videos and have to pay us. You know? So that represents this food. It's twofold. While we in this man's society, this man was going to feed us. Matter of fact, give me Revelation, the 12th chapter. Go ahead. You know what verse I want? Right about the 12th verse around there. Where, no. Where it says fed by the serpent. 14, I'm sorry.
Revelation 12 and 14. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time, and times, and half a time, from the face of the serpent.
The serpent is the so-called white man. I'll read that again and get that on the blue letter.
Revelation 12:14. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time and times and a half a time from the face of the serpent.
Right. Look up the word nourished.
Yeah, the Greek word there for nourished.
Strong's G 5142, trefo.
Which means to nourish, support, feed, to give suck, to fatten, to bring up, to nurture, to bring up and nurture.
And that's what this man did. So this man didn't bring us over here to this society to destroy us. He brought us over here to profit from our bodies, from the work, from the use of our bodies, out in cotton fields and so forth. So he had to feed us. So of course we were nourished, and it says it nourished in front of the face of the serpent. Who's the serpent? This damn devil. When you go to Revelation, the 20th chapter, it tells you about the serpent. Go ahead.
Matthew chapter 25, verse 1. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins which took their lamps.
Did you read the part about oil? All right, go ahead.
Okay, it says, and I heard a voice in the midst of the 4 beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine.
So we're going to find out what the oil is and what the wine is. Go ahead.
Okay, Matthew 25 and 1. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom, and 5 of them were wise and 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them, but the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept, and at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bride cometh, go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, Give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out.
Now that oil represents the scriptures, but it also represents the understanding of the scriptures. Because the Most High have to open up your eyes to get the understanding of the scriptures. That's why you got guys out there, Israelites out there, teaching that Cornelius is an Edomite, teaching that Joseph and Mary never had sex, and many other things that they teach. Teaching that Esau can make it. Or not even teaching that the so-called white man's Esau. They're teaching that the so-called white man is Japhet. So they don't have the oil. So they're scrambling to get the oil, but they never had it back then. The ones that had it back then, they're going to have it right now. That's why the scripture said in Revelation, the 6th chapter, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. So this was going to be in us, man. You know, these Edomites, these elite, they're scratching their head. How do they figure all this stuff out? Because of the scriptures. See thou hurt not the oil and the wine. Go ahead.
Proverbs 21 and 20. There is treasure to be desired, and oil in the dwelling of the wise, but a foolish man spendeth it up.
Because you got guys that was given this knowledge, and you know what they did? When it wasn't hype to be an Israelite anymore, you went right back into the world. Then you came across YouTube, and you see us, and you see all these videos, and now you got all these guys propping up. And like I said, we know all you guys don't know them faces, man. You think them guys are new? We know all those guys that's popping up. We know all those guys. Go ahead.
It says back in Matthew 25 and 6, and at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, Give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered, saying, Not so, lest there be not enough for us and you, but go ye rather to them that sell and buy for yourselves.
In other words, you got to get this for yourself. We can't stop. We done already brought this truth out. We done taught it to certain brothers. When all hell breaks loose, we ain't going to have time to say, okay, brother, let me sit down and break these. If you don't got it now, when all hell breaks loose, that's too damn bad, man. Matter of fact, get me Isaiah, the 33rd chapter, and the 6th verse.
Isaiah 33 and 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times,
That's the oil. Go ahead.
and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure.
So we're going to be stabilizing this thing. Matter of fact, go to that in the blue letter. Isaiah 33, verse 6. Look up the word stability.
All right.